So Solana has been on a bit of a roller coaster recently, with the price coming tumbling down from $200+ all the way down to where we sit today. So we are going to be discussing exactly our price predictions, what we think is going to happen next, and whether or not we should be panicking as Solana holders. Of course, nothing in the video should be ever considered financial advice, and if you are looking for a new exchange, I have all of the exchanges links down there in the description that I personally use. There are over $30,000 worth of deposit bonuses waiting for you right now, and if you do use the CoinW link, there is a completely free trading Telegram group where you guys will get trading signals, you'll get general support, market updates, and a whole host of other benefits. With that said, let's jump into the video. Is this a case of the bull market or the bull market top this time round is behind us? We should dump our bags and wait for maybe a sub $100 Solana, or is right now the time?
All right, you know, I'm gonna say that I think it's time to buy, right? But at the end of the day, right, there's no exact correct answer, but what I would go ahead and say is that where we are for Solana is something that Solana does quite often. Okay, so what people have to understand is that in these moments like this, right, where things feel bad, you know, Solana went from $210, $215 all the way back down to what looks like 130, 135. It's so easy to be like, oh, this is so bad, it's so terrible, this is the end of the world, etc., until you just look at the grand scheme of things, right? Solana has done something this year that's been exceptional. And it's something that has been historically much, much better than any of these other ones. I mean, you look at something like Ethereum and you look at its rebound. You look at something like DOT and its rebound. You look at something like Litecoin, its rebound. None of them have come close to what Solana has done, right? And so people are saying, you know, Solana's down 30% or 25% or whatever it may be. And then you look at Ethereum and Ethereum's only down 10 or 15%. And they're like, so obviously Ethereum's better, or some crazy, weird crypto math like that. And then what I go on and say is like, okay, the pullback for Solana has been bad, and it's been worse than some of the other ones. But the pump that got us here was so much better that the overall returns are still significantly higher than any of these other ones that you can look at. There's nothing in the top 10 that had a remotely close pump to what Solana's done. You look at something, and I always tell people, you know, before you start saying that Solana's a shitty coin or whatever it may be, which it can be sometimes, right? But before you go on and say that, I'd like to find anybody who can find another crypto in the top 10 that's up 1,600% in the last year. It's like, it's just quite that simple, right? And so in these moments in which we are seeing these pullbacks, they actually do make me feel a little bit good. Now, that might sound a little bit weird, and people may say, well, why does that make sense? Well, the reason being is that we all know that these types of things are unsustainable. When crypto literally just goes straight up, it's just unsustainable. You're going to see cooldowns. You're going to see pullbacks. And the further these things run, without seeing a cool down or a pullback, you know, Connor, the further back they're going to pull back. It's just that simple. And the fact that from a price perspective, you know, we didn't see Solana break the all-time high. We didn't see it start to go into too deep of price discovery before the rest of the market. It is still within the typical confines of what we are seeing some of these other cryptos. It tells me that the pullback and the cool down we're seing right now is going to mitigate the risk of some type of massive pullback, some type of massive dump that we would have seen had Solana gone to say 200, you know, say $290, $300, $400. Then at that point, yeah, we're probably going to see a 60-70% pullback, and no one really wants to see that. And so at this given point, what we are seeing is just a general cool down. It's a pretty solid consolidation, and it's nothing more than that at the end of the day. All you need to do is zoom out. From a technical perspective, we saw Solana break the most important point of resistance that it's ever seen. The most important point of resistance that it's ever seen was in between the $68 and $140 level right here. This is the macro 618 to 786 Fibonacci zone. We cleared it. Once we cleared it, we came back up. We tried to continue upwards, but the general momentum of the market did pull us downwards. You mix that in with the fact that we saw the market congestion, Solana being absolutely annoying and all of those things. Yeah, we saw a bit of a pullback. And what's happening right now is Solana's coming back to retest the most important zone of resistance that it's ever seen and seeing if it can flip it into support before a continuation upwards. What you have to look at is every single time Solana breaks a very important point of resistance, it goes back and retests it to try to establish support. And that's no different than what we're seeing right now. Previous point of resistance, macro Fibonacci zone that we broke out above, and now we're coming back to retest it as support. And so because of that, what we are seeing from this doesn't shock me. It's not surprising. It's not scary. It's not even worrying in the slightest degree, because Solana had made a very ridiculous move to the upside, and now it's cooling down. Then you mix that in with the fact that you go look at something like DeFi Llama, the ecosystem's not struggling. You know, we saw this recovery. We saw, of course, billions of dollars injected back into Solana as an ecosystem, and that money's not just getting drained out. People aren't immediately leaving. They're not getting out completely and dumping the liquidity, dumping the ecosystem, and going to the next thing like Base or ETH or BSC or whatever it may be. They're still sticking around. Yeah, it's pulled back a little bit. That's normal. But general inflows over the last 24 hours are still at $590,000. They're still up. The revenue is still up. The fee generation is still up. All of these things are still holding up well, which just further confirms to me that this isn't something to be concerned about. It is healthy. It's natural. It's what you would expect when you break a key point of resistance. And it wouldn't shock me if we do find some support within this zone and then look for a continuation back upwards. $500 to $600 is still my price target for this run. And at the end of the day, that's what I still think is going to happen. So personally, no, I'm not stressing. Are my bags down? Yes. Am I down 5 figures on Solana right now over the last couple months? Yes. But is it a cause for concern? No. You just need to know what you're getting involved with when you deal with Solana. It's going to be volatile, but likelihood is it's going to outperform anybody's favorite crypto. And so that's my general thesis here.
You're also down on paper. You're not actually down. I think this is something that, this is like what people need to remember. And the haters, there are, and I spoke about this in my video today, and it's a hard position for us to be in because this isn't coming from a position of like emotion. I don't care that there's haters in the comments, but what we can do using that, it's data, right? So what we can see here is the people who are in the comments are new to crypto, because the people who hate me and will stick on Solana just because it's what we're talking about, but the people who I get hate for now about Solana weren't watching me 6 months ago when I was losing money every day buying Solana. Do you know what I mean? Like I bought a ton of Solana at about $20, and you know, everyone called me an idiot then. And now Solana's at $136. Like, just calculate for a second what that's worth. Yes, it was worth $200 plus, but it doesn't make any difference to me because, as you said, we believe it's going to go to, let's just say, for argument's sake, $600. So I don't care about a pullback like this because I got in early enough. And I think that's a lesson that most people need to learn. Don't chase the euphoria. And it's super hard to not chase the euphoria when you're new to crypto. We, as influencers in this space, are not out here to get you. We're not trying to pump Solana making this video. I have no sway on Solana's bloody market cap, right? I don't know what's going to happen next. All I know is when I was new to crypto in 2017, I also lost everything. I thought chasing the hype and chasing the euphoria was where the money was made. And yes, in the short term, it was where the money was made, but I didn't take any profits, right? So I chased the theoretical Solana of back then, which was actually Cardano. I chased that. I made a ton of money overnight in a couple of weeks, tons, more money than I could ever imagine. And then I lost it all. But what did I learn from that? Waiting and buying the dip was what saved that whole scenario, or taking profits in euphoria. So if you're watching this video now, me and Tyler are talking about an opportunity in the market. Solana is down 27% on the month. It's still up 500% on the year. So there is still room for this to drop significantly more. But the whole point is buying at a 27% drop is a lot more likely to make you money than buying after 1,000% gain or a 500% gain when we're still in the euphoric mode. So your chances of making money buying in this market is a hell of a lot higher than your chances of making money when you're buying something like Solana in a euphoric market. So that's all we can say. There's still probabilities here. There is still, you know, a not zero probability that this run is in fact over. People assume that the ETF changes everything. There is a not zero probability that that's not the case. Bitcoin does its 80% retracement from where it hit the top, and the top was 72K or whatever it was, right? There is a chance that that happens. But all we can do, the way we make money, is betting with probabilities, right? We're out here, we're making bets on things. My bet would be buying Solana today is better than buying Solana at $200. But how I would play it is I would buy, if I was outside of the market, right, and I was going to buy some Solana, I wouldn't dump all of my money in today. I would just, if it was $1,000 investment, I would put in $100. Tomorrow, if it drops a bit more, another $100. Next day, if it drops a bit more, another $100, until I've averaged my position and it's all the way in. And then I have the best chance of making money, but still not a guarantee, right? And that's all we can do here. Do you agree with that sort of thing?
No, I completely agree. And just like you said, man, I mean, I've had the haters have come out the wazoo in the last, 2-3 months, and I understand it. The thing about it is this, like you said, we're not out to get people, but I do understand that in the positions that we're in, we are going to cause a lot of emotion one way or another. And it is what it is. It's something I personally
literally got punched in the face because he's been talking
Oh,
about
yeah.
Solana and it's done.
And so the thing about it is, in my opinion, is that I understand those people who are upset, but at the end of the day, there's only so much of upsetness you can do or you can have, because whenever we saw Solana at $11 and I made a YouTube video saying I'm buying $3,000 of Solana right now, and then I bought $3,000 of Solana right then and there, I had people who were pissed off, right? Saying like, you're so dumb, you're buying it early, it's going to $4, $5, whatever. Then Solana goes at $200. That money, you know, I think it was like a 15x or something like that. You can do math. Then we get up there, it pulls back, and now the same people, whenever I'm saying, I'm going to buy a little bit more Solana, the same people who were mad saying it was going to go down even lower are now saying, look, I told you it was a scam. I'm like, you told me it was a scam 15x ago?
Yeah,
16x ago? Is that what you mean? And so, in my opinion, where it is right now, that type of thinking is the reason why the people who think like that always lose. And the people who can look for optimism, even in the moments of worry or fear, or whatever it may be, always end up winning. And so, in my opinion, it's not just Solana, it's the market in general, Bitcoin itself. People are screaming, Bitcoin's pulling back and it's the end of the world. It's like, listen, BlackRock just calmed down on their buying a little bit. So now the market's relaxed a little, because at the end of the day, Grayscale's still selling hundreds of millions of dollars of crypto every single day. But at the end of the day, BlackRock hasn't bought anything in 3 days, and the market's not dumping. It's just a bit sideways. So think about how optimistic that is. So no, I don't think the market's over. I do think that there is a chance that it is, like you said, but I don't think it is. And the people who end up purchasing in this pullback will eventually make money. That's my opinion. Simple.
And crypto's not dead. So, and like, and just before we blabber on about this for too long, it's like we make bad bets all the time, right?
Yeah.
But all you have to do is, you know, for just argument's sake, is be right 51% of the time and you make money, right? That's really all it takes. Do you know what I mean? So 100 bets, you only have to be right, 51 of those times? You can be wrong 50% of the time, basically, and still be positive, right? So this is how we see it. Tyler is making Solana videos very often on the channel. He likes to look at them, charts them. He's a very good technical analyst. Go on, say that word for me.
Analyst.
That's the one. If you do want to check out his channel, there will be a link down in the description. Tyler, thank you for stopping by. If you guys appreciate either of us, you can smash that subscribe button on both of our channels, and we'll see you in the next one. Peace.